Hello, 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 hello. Let's see who we have in the building tonight. Turn my phone off so it doesn't ring while I'm talking to you all. All right, let's see who we have here. Welcome, 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 everybody. We have our very own YT cheerleader. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Our YT cheerleader. My pom-poms aren't in reach. Somebody moved my pom-poms. I kept my pom-poms in reach, but somebody moved them. I don't know who moved them. Somebody moved them. How are you, Vernus? How are you? I'm fine, Vernus. Says, hello, Deborah. How are you? I'm fine, Vernus. We have Pandy, Hair Candy, and more in the house. Hello, Pandy. How are you? She says, hi, Deborah. sGladTidings mods and chat. We have the hardest working man in YouTube streets. He's actor. He's full-time student. He's basketball player. And now a vlogger. We have our very own Kane E. Moore in the building. How are you? Pandy says, hey to Vernus. Vernus says hello and welcome in, Pandy. We have Zeker Zone Timmy in the house. How are you, Zeker Zone Timmy? I think this might be your first time in story time, but we appreciate having you. Zeker Zone Timmy says hello, new here. Yes. We appreciate you stopping by at story time. Vernus is welcoming Kane E. Moore. Kane E. Moore says, me and Timmy work together in the movie industry. Okay. And he's talented and he's funny and he's a good dancer. All right. So he's comedian / dancer, performer. That's all right there. Vernus says hello and welcome in to Zeker Zone. Thank you for being here. We have our very own Edward Smart in the building. How are you, Edward? Edward says, hi, Deborah. Zeker Zone Timmy says it's pronounced Zeker. Zeker Zone. Okay. Vernus says, welcome to Edward Smart. Zeker Zone Timmy says, I'm a good dancer. Okay, I believe you. Okay. Are you a YouTuber? I'll have to check out some of your moves. Edward Smart says, hey to Vernus and thanks. We have our very own Shewana's Creative Circle in the house. Says, hello, everyone. How are you, Shewana? Then we have our very own Be The Difference Clothing. Yes. Yes. I love her ringtone. How are you, sis? She's shouting out Zeker Zone Timmy, Edward Smart, Vernus, and Kane Moore. And me. Zeker Zone Timmy says, I've been dancing since I was 8 years old. Oh, man. So you got that thing down pat. Sounds like you got it mastered. Be The Difference shouting out Shewanda. Vernon says, please be kind. Thumbs up the live stream as you enter. Thank you. Thank you. I want to thank my mods. I appreciate you being my eyes while I'm engaged in the story. I really appreciate you being here. Katie Moore says, and me and Zeker Zone went to preschool together. Oh, so you all, long time. So you all are down like 4 flat tires, like me and Gigi, huh? Edward Smart says, hey, to Be The Difference Clothing. Good to see you again. Shewana says, shouting out Vernus and Be The Difference. Vernus says, hello and welcome in to Shewana. Pandy Hair Candy Moore says, hey to Edward Smart and Be The Difference Joy. We have our very own sister Fifi Tyson in the building today. She says, hey, Deborah's sGladTidings. How are you, sister Fifi? Vernon says, hello and welcome in. Troublemaker, Be The Difference Clothing. Be The Difference. She's calling you a troublemaker. We have that other troublemaker that I don't know if she's in here yet, but our Miss 12 Bells usually making trouble. Sister Fifi Tyson says, hey, YouTube fam. Vernon is shouting out, welcoming Sister Fifi. My stream jumped so fast. I don't want to miss anybody. Sister Fifi shouting out Vernus. Pandy shouting out Sister Fifi. Edward says, hey, Pandy. He's shouting out her and Shawana. Be the difference, shouting out Vernis. Vernis shouting out Shawana and says, are you all set? Be the difference, shouting out Pandy. We have Carolyn East all in the building. Carolyn, I don't know if you were here for the Monday for the story. I can't remember if you were in the. I did a premiere story, and you were featured in that story. So I don't know if you got a chance to. Well, you weren't in the story, but I shouted you out at the beginning of the story. So I don't know if you had a chance to see it. She says, hello, Miss Deborah. How are you? And she's throwing me some flowers. Thank you, Carolyn. Be the difference says, hey, Sister Fifi and Carolyn East all. Vernis is shouting out Carolyn. Vernis is laughing. Says, no pom-pom. I'm going to make it a point when I get off this live tonight to find my pom-poms so I can be ready for you. Pandy says, hey, did she want to? Edward Smarts. What is that? A clapper? Y'all know I'm not good with these emojis, and I can't see that good either. Carolyn says, hey to Vernis, and be the difference. Pandy says, hi to Carolyn East all. Carolyn says, hi to Shawana. Vernis shouting out. Pandy says, welcome in. We have the Miss Yo-Yo Show in the house. How are you, sis? So glad that you could stop by Storytime and see us again. She says, hello, beautiful. Thank you. Be the difference, shouting out Miss Yo-Yo. Carolyn shouting out Pandy. Shawana shouting out Pandy. Pandy shouting out Miss Yo-Yo. Shawana shouting out Carolyn Eats All and Edward. Vernis is saying hello to Carolyn. Carolyn says hey to Miss Yo-Yo. Queen, and Vernis is saying welcome to Miss Yo-Yo. We have my brother Anthony Shaw in the building today. How are you, brother? Save me some of that food Gigi cooked up over there. He says hello, hello. We have our very own dancing diva dancing her way into story time. As usual, Miss Full Roller says, hey, Deborah, Maz, Vernis, Gigi, and Chad. Hey, y'all. She says, in the back, in the bushes, to listen in and letting you know that it is Leo season. Uh-oh. 12 L's out of gas. It's Leo season. We done moved on. All right, but Miss Furrow, you be careful in the bushes. We don't want you to run into Bigfoot, and we certainly don't want you to catch any fleas and ticks. Be the difference, saying hi to Anthony. There's 12 bells. 12 bells made it in the house on time. Y'all, look at that. I'm in the building, too. And 12 bells, your season has come and gone. So I don't want no crying. It ain't your birthday, so you don't get to cry. Be the difference says, hey, 12 bells. And she's shouting out Miss Full Roller, Miss Yo-Yo shouting out Pandy, Vernis. Be the difference in 12 bells. Edward Smart says, hey, 12 bells. And Anthony Shaw. Zeker Zone Timmy says, yeah, I was the popular kid in preschool and Kane was upset. Oh, Kane has some hateration going on for you, huh? Because he was being bullied in preschool. And I said, leave him alone. And I let him join my team. And we became friends. And we worked together. That's all right. See, Kane, somebody had your back and still got your back. 12 Bell says, hey, Deborah and everybody in the chat. We have Tiffany Chanel hanging out with us in story time tonight. How are you, Tiffany? Says, hey, Deborah and everyone. God bless everyone tonight. So glad that you all could join me. So glad to have you here, Tiffany. Hey, Gigi, what's up, sis? Save me some of that food. Don't let your assistant eat it all. Welcome, welcome. Zeker Zone says, and I'm new to you too. Okay, all right. Be the difference, shouting out Tiffany. Pandy saying hello to 12 Bells. Be the difference, saying hi to Gigi. 12 Bells says hi to Be the difference in Miss Yo-Yo, Miss Full Roller. Zeker Zone Timmy says, because I start off a Twitch like Kane. Okay. Tiffany Chanel says, everyone, there are 22 people watching and only 11 likes. Let's get the likes up, please. Thank you for that, Tiffany. I appreciate it. Shawana, 12 L's shouting out Pandy. Edward shouting out Gigi. Tiffany says, hey, to be the difference. Vernis is saying, welcome to Anthony. Tiffany says, hey, Auntie Miss Yo-Yo Show. Vernis is saying hello and welcome in. Tiffany says, hey, Booski. a good little bit. Says, hey, Booski to Vernus. Carolyn East all says, yes, ma'am. I watched the replay. Thank you. So you are so welcome, Carolyn. Miss Yo-Yo said, shouting out Shawana and Tiffany. Says, hello, love. Miss Yo-Yo show shouting out Carolyn. Vernus shouting out Tiffany. Says, boost my Booski. Shawana says, wait, still making my popcorn. Tiffany says, hey to Carolyn, you saw. Gigi says, welcome to Storytime. The Edward Smart, Carolyn, Tiffany, and Miss Yo-Yo. We beep, 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 beep. Short bus pull up. Just pulled up in Storytime. Turn that engine down, short bus, or turn it off because you're making too much fuss. The people won't be able to hear the story with all that engine revving. Short bus says, hey, Miss Deborah, I had to pull up. I appreciate you coming in, brother. Tiffany says, hey to Gigi and to Pandy and 12 Bells. Short bus says, Miss Deborah, where's the party? That's over there with Pound Money. Pound Money is the one where the party don't stop. All you get over here is story time. Tiffany's and Dining Diva, DMV Dining Diva, her and Pound Money, those the party girls. Short bus pull up says, okay, Tiffany's shouting out, says, hey fam, short bus pull up, hold on, big drip. Shawana says, hey to Miss Yo-Yo. Short bus says, Tiff, hello. Gigi, hello. Be the Difference Clothing says, hi, short bus, and she got those buses pulling on up. Short bus says, Auntie Yo-Yo, hello. Tiffany says, everyone, there are 24 people watching and only 11 likes. Let's go. The likes up, please. I appreciate that. Shawana says, hey to Short bus. Short bus says, hey to Be the Difference. Penny shouting out Tiffany. Short bus shouting out Tiffany. Say, I just hit it. Thank you for that, Short bus. Vernon says hello and welcome to Short bus. Edward Smart says hey to Short bus. Short bus shouting out Shawana. Vernon says hello and welcome in to Gigi. Pandy says hey to Miss Full Roller. Short bus says, Miss Deborah, I got you now. Laugh out loud. Carolyn. Okay, Carolyn's shouting out Short bus. Pandy shouting out Short bus. Short bus shouting out Carolyn. Gigi says, welcome to Storytime. The 12 Bells. Short bus. Beep, beep, beep. Pandy. Shawana and Zeker's own Timmy. Pandy shouting out Gigi. Short bus shouting out Pandy says, how are you? 12 Bells say, hey Gigi. Short bus says, Gigi, you know Miss Deborah listen to rap music. I'm not a big rap music fan, Short bus. It's very few. I like Lil Wayne though, because his lyrics are deep. Short bus is laughing. Gigi shouting out Sister Fifi, Be the Difference Clothing, Vernus, aka the YT cheerleader. Whoop whoop. We have Trick of Living in the house. A Short bus pull up. Beep beep. How are you, sis? So glad you stopped by Storytime. 12 Bells, and congratulations again on your monetization. That word that I can't never get right. 12 Bells shouting out Edward Smart. Short bus is laughing. Tricker says, Gigi, how are you? Be the Difference shouting out Gigi. Gigi says, welcome to Trick of Living. Trick of Living shouting out Be the Difference. Miss Yo-Yo shouting out Shawana. 12 Bells shouting out Shawana. Short bus. Stream strip jump there. Short bus says, laugh out loud, we love you, Miss Deborah. I love you all too, Short bus. The Miss Yo-Yo says, Short bus pull up. Hey nephew. Hey, 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 we have Web Savvy Cafe in the building with the cool shades on. Says, hey, 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 Miss Deborah. Trick of Living says hi to Miss Yo-Yo. The Miss Yo-Yo's shouting out Trick of Living and Web Savvy. Web Savvy says, hey, Mars and chat family. 12 Bells says, hey to Carolyn East all. Short bus shouting out Trick of Living. Web Savvy says, hey to Miss Yo-Yo and Gigi. Short bus says, Web Savvy, hello. 12 Bells starting to dance already. Booski, party hasn't started. She dancing already. Say Booski in the chat. Vernus. Web Savvy shouting out Short Bus. Gigi's welcoming Miss Yo-Yo, Web Savvy. Edward Smart's welcoming Web Savvy. Bernie saying hey and welcome. Gigi says Short Bus pull up, laugh out loud. Kane Moore says yeah, and in middle school Timmy was getting bullied. I had his back. I said you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. The bullies got scared. But that's good, Kane Moore, to know that you all have each other's back. 12 Bell shouting out Anthony Shaw. Short Bus says yeah, Lil Wayne facts. 80 babies like me. Web Savage shouting out Edward Smart. Vernon says hello to Trick of Living. Trick of Living shouting out Vernon. Web Savage shouting out Vernon. Trick of Living says thanks Deb. You are quite welcome. I'm happy for you. I'll get there soon. 12 Bell says hey to Zicker's own Timmy. Kane says I don't play with bullies. I guess it's bullies. Not even in college. I know you're right. Time out for that. Trick of Living says thank you, Bernice. Short Bus is laughing. Anthony Shaw shouting out 12 Bell says hey. Gigi's welcoming Kane Moore. Trick of Living says hi to Anthony. Sister Fifi shouting out Short Bus says hi nephew. Web Savvy says Deborah just shared you out sis. Thank you, Web Savvy. I appreciate that. Short Bus says Shaw Lakers Nation. 12 Bell says I got my cool shades on too. Miss Yo-Yo shouting out Gigi. Sister Fifi says hello love. Short Bus pull up says Auntie Sister Fifi. Web Savvy says hey to 12 Bells. 12 Bells shouting out Sister Fifi Tyson. Gigi says okay 12 Bells, it's Leo season. Join us for the Leo party. We have Simply a Sweetheart in the house. How are you, Simply? Web Savvy shouting out Sister Fifi. 12 Bells shouting out Web Savvy. 12 Bells says hey Simply a Sweetheart. Anthony Shaw says hey to Trick of Living. Simply Sweetheart says hey 12 Bells, throwing some kisses. And 12 Bells says Leo season starts tomorrow. Gigi, I was born on the cusp. Don't even try that, 12 Bells. You told us your birthday was probably like July 1st, and then you told us again the 21st or something. You done had us sing happy birthday to you like 12 times to go with your 12 Bells. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with our story. Tonight we're not doing the story time shout out. We're going back into our book. For those of you who don't know, I'm a published author. This is my book. It's called My Struggle and Broken Pieces, A Healing for My Soul. It's available at Amazon.com. Right now, I have them that I'm selling. I have some on sale for $25. If you're interested, hit me up on IG. And Miss E. Johnson Wooten said the first 5 people that hit me up, they'll just pay $20. She'll pay the 5 for them. So you hit me up on my IG. It's like my second page, Deb's _Tidings. So I'm gonna set the laptop aside for now, so that I can use my lap to hold the book, and I'll come back to that later and see who walked in while I was reading. So tonight we're up to chapter 23. We're getting there. And chapter 23 is called Hidden Agenda. Now, before chapter 3, we talked about, we read chapters 20, Adversity and Opposition. That was a chapter where me and my husband just had so much going on in the marriage. It was a whole lot. We were constantly bumping heads. Could never come to an agreement on anything. And then from there we had Turning Point. And that's where finally things are kind of coming to that point where, we're talking about separation and all that kind of stuff. Then we had the chapter after that, The Manifestation Begins. I had received a prophetic word from a pastor telling me some things was going to take place that, it was going to take God to get me through it. and everything. And then that's when, right after that, my husband expressed his interest in leaving, walking out of the marriage and things like that. So we had a whole lot going on, and so now we're up to hidden agenda. Okay, so in the manifestation, we actually, before I get into the hidden agenda, I'll talk a little bit more about that. So what happened is we wind up having to sell the house we were living in, and my husband said if I was forcing him to sell his house, he was done with the marriage. He renounced the marriage, gave me back his wedding ring, and so I was going to move back into the house by myself. And so we sold the house, and then once we sold the house and had to move out, all of a sudden he was like, he had a change of heart, and he was coming with me, and he thought he had told me that he changed his mind, that sort of stuff. And I couldn't figure out why the sudden change. And during the time that we decided to sell the house, while we were kind of living in the house as roommates, not really talking and things like that, while we were waiting to sell the house. I had already moved my son back to the old house, which is the house I had before we got married, and he was staying there with my daughter. And my husband and I just kind of lived as strangers in the house that we were living in until the actual closing, when we had to be out of the house. So once we closed and everything, all of a sudden it was like, oh, he had a change of heart. And that's when we go into the chapter that's called Hidden Agenda. All right. Up until about 2 months prior to closing the sale on the house, we remained living together as total strangers. No further conversation had taken place for at least a month and a half after those 3 days. Unexpectedly, he joined me one evening at the dinner table to question my living arrangements after the sale of the house. He asked one question after another, leaving me little time to respond with any answers other than yes or no. Do you intend to move back into your previous house? Isn't the mortgage payment on that house about $900 a month? Acting surprised, he continued. So in actuality, you can pay most of your bills from your first paycheck, which means you will practically have a free paycheck and won't ever have to touch the money you make from the sale of this house. When I asked his interest in all of that, he assured me there was no reasoning behind it all. He dismissed the conversation for a few moments as if mulling over what he already heard. He picked up where he left off by asking, do you have any modifications you plan on making to the old house once you move back there? Still not certain where he was headed with all of that, I told him yes, and then expressed my intent to make a few cosmetic changes. He insisted on knowing exactly what they were, so I told him I wanted to install central air and heat, remodel the kitchen, and replace some mirror cabinets with glass blocks. Our chat ended there, and the next morning he woke up early, got dressed quickly, and told me that he was headed to work on that rental property. At least 2 months had passed since the last time he were there, so I asked why the sudden change of heart. He said he wanted to do as much as possible before we moved back there. I asked what he meant by that, and then reminded him of his decision to walk out of the marriage after being forced to sell the house. He told me I forgot that he changed his mind and decided to stay. What prompted his decision to stay was him feeling that either way it went, he'd lose. He explained how if he stayed, he'd lose his house, but if he left, he'd lose his family as well. He concluded at least this way he wouldn't lose everything. I told him I didn't recall him recanting his decision to leave, but figured whatever. Despite what he said, I knew what God had shown me, but I didn't stop him from going to work on the house. He worked diligently, hanging new closet doors, painting, restoring the lawn, installing new light fixtures, and making other repairs right up until the final day of the closing. We each walked away with $35,000, yet it was still a dismal time. Prior to that time, Mom and others questioned whether or not he'd really walk out on me over a house. They figured he was just testing me when he made the threat. I wanted to believe he'd stay, but I kept seeing visions of him leaving enraged. I remained apprehensive about it in my spirit, but I felt he wouldn't be there for long, even if he returned to the old house with us. He returned but remained just long enough to destroy it. Our marriage was under tremendous strain, and while I waited for the final outcome, all sorts of, hell broke loose. Before he actually walked out on me, the thought of him returning to the old house as a temporary solution to our problems gave me anxiety. All sorts of thoughts raced through my head. When will it all go down? Why would God allow him to return to the old house with us to walk out on us? And will I get hurt in the process? I decided to get focused on what I needed to do and to just prepare for the worst. I redirected my focus and energy towards the central air conditioning project. He convinced me how the ductwork would look boxed in since the house had a flat roof, and then told the air conditioning guy to let him tear out the ceiling first so that the ductwork wouldn't be exposed. The AC man was to fit the ductwork flush against the rafters, and then he closed the ceilings up afterwards. At the same time, he started a demolition project, dismantling one thing after the other. First it was the ceilings, and then the kitchen cabinets. Every day I returned home, he destroyed something new. Concerned, I asked, "What were you thinking?" You know, I'd never proceed with all of those repairs at once. We discussed this beforehand. It wasn't a good thing. In fact, it was a total disaster. By the time I stopped him, it was already too late. He had dismantled everything we'd spoken about for the renovations, never completing a single thing. The house was a mess. The dust and debris coupled with the stress of the relationship triggered the asthma attacks again. He knew that would happen, yet he didn't seem concerned. Was I wrong for thinking he was trying to kill me? Heated by his lack of concern, Mom and my stepdad hired a guy to clean up the mess. They told him about his lackadaisy attitude and how shameful it was that he'd leave the house in such disarray. He acted as if there was never an issue. I told them I attributed it to his plan to walk out on me and to leave the house that way. He knew how expensive it would be for me to fix it all at once. I was certain that was payback for forcing him to sell the other house, but Mom didn't think so. Perhaps I was mistaken, but I remembered her on the conversation we had prior to moving back. You remember the question about me having a lesser mortgage payment and me being able to pay most of my bills from one paycheck? Especially the part about how I'd never have to touch the money from the sale of the house. Would you say all of that gave me reason to be suspicious? Once we moved back into the old house, I also restructured the way we managed our finances. The time I moved out made me realize I was no better off financially all those years married than I'd been as a single person. That's when I decided I'd no longer deposit all of my funds into one pot, and he'd be responsible for managing our bills. We'd only have a joint account for bill payment, nothing more. Even with that arrangement, some months we'd have a deficit, causing him to dip into his savings to make up the difference. Frustrated by it all, he expressed his disapproval of our new financial arrangement. With total disregard for the extra funds I did deposit, he said, "I'm always pulling money from my savings to pay these bills, and it shouldn't be that way. Everything's coming out and nothing's going in. Soon I'll have nothing left. Why can't things go back to the way they were, putting all of our money into one account?" I'm sure it only angered him to know that I had money left over from my pay and the money from the sale of the house in the bank. I told him, "I've taken up the slack for many years and you just took advantage of it, nor did you appreciate it. Besides, I didn't see the benefits to doing that any longer. Instead of progressing over the years, I'd only regressed. Whenever there was a shortage of funds, I've always had to figure it out and take up the slack. Well, since you say you're the head of the house, it's time for you to take a stand and figure things out." He would just leave the money sitting in the account. Eventually, he stopped paying them altogether. Since the mortgage was in my name from that moment on, I made sure payments got drafted directly from that account, and then I paid whatever utilities I could with whatever was left. Since he wasn't concerned, neither was I. That created even more friction in the marriage. Continuous arguments erupted, mostly over sex and money. There was no fire in the furnace. Of course, this didn't help any. It just made him angrier and skeptical about me remaining faithful in the relationship. One night I returned home from church. He started an argument with me, which evolved around sex. He was interested and I wasn't. The argument started there, but ended with him telling me things like, "I don't think you need a man. I think you need to be by yourself. I've decided in order for me to stay with you, I need to either beat you or kill you." Fully fed up and unable to hold my tongue any longer, I replied, "While you're concerned about what you think I should be doing or need, you should think about what it is that you want to do." He blurted out, "I want to leave, and I've wanted to leave for a while now." "Then why are you still here? No one's stopping you from leaving. So leave," was my reply. Suddenly, he was pacing back and forth, knocking things over and breaking them. In a rage, he punched a hole in the wall and started yelling, "Oh, I see, so I'm not effing man enough to be here now." My heart raced, and with me not knowing what else to do, anxiously I threatened to call the police. That was a big mistake. He turned and responded quickly as he threw the phone at me as hard as he possibly could. As a matter of fact, called them. Somehow I anticipated that happening, so I threw up my arms to shield myself from the blow. Initially, I sat there frozen in place like a deer caught in the headlights. Then, expecting the worst, I started looking around for a way of escape. I was barricaded in the same bedroom with Mr. Hyde, who injured me in the past. I had thoughts of me not being as lucky this time. I envisioned him snatching me from the bed and beating me to a bloody pulp or to death, especially after that statement he made. Fortunate for me, he was able to regain his composure. He started getting dressed quicker than a firefighter on an emergency call, and then he said he was moving out. He said he'd return in a couple of weeks for his things. As frightened as I was, I had to stand my ground. I told him if he was leaving, he needed to take his things with him because I was fed up with the whole sleeping out stunt. That's when Dr. Jekyll showed up. He got undressed and then climbed into bed as though nothing ever happened. I couldn't help but wonder if he really did have a split personality or was a few cards short of a full deck. For an individual to be able to turn it on and off like that, there had to be some psychological issue that needed to be addressed. You may feel that I overreacted, but did I really? When warned in the past that he'd hurt me, I didn't take heed, and he did exactly what he said. Since he expressed a need to do it again or kill me, I wasn't taking it lightly. My mom had already lost one daughter who trusted her ex-boyfriend after they broke up. I was still leery of him, so once he settled into bed, I eased out of the room and slept in the living room. I sat in a chair talking to the Lord. If he wanted to leave all these years, why didn't he just go? I'm tired of living with a human time bomb, someone who appears angry all the time for no apparent reason. Fed up, before I left for work the next morning, I packed enough clothing to last me and my son a couple of days, and after work, we went over to my sister's house. A week had passed before he called, questioning our whereabouts and asking when we were coming home. I told him we weren't returning until after he moves out. It took 3 weeks for him to realize that I wasn't kidding. He packed his things and split. My premonitions of him moving back long enough to destroy the house came true. He left a bunch of past due bills and the house in shambles. Huge window-sized holes, the air conditioning ductwork, electrical wiring, and roof beams were left exposed. Also, the kitchen cabinets he took down were still sitting on the floor. Each time I entered the house was a constant reminder of how true Proverbs 6:34 is. A man will not spare in the day of vengeance. In other words, individuals will go to whatever length they feel necessary and will not stop until they feel they've gotten their revenge. Once he moved out, he kept his whereabouts secretive and wouldn't answer any of my calls. He probably thought I was calling because he trashed the place. I didn't need to remind him of that. He was well aware of what he did. I was calling about the inoperative car he left parked in my driveway. After several unsuccessful attempts to reach him, I left a message on his cell phone threatening to have it towed. Instead of contacting me, he called my brother to explain how he had nowhere else to leave it. When my brother conveyed the message, I agreed to permit him to leave the car in exchange for repairs to the damage he left behind. Rather than agree to fix the house, he moved the car without ever contacting me. That's what convinced me that he never intended on staying to salvage the marriage, and leaving me in the predicament was a ploy to get even. It took every penny of the money I made from the sale of the house and some to restore my house back to a suitable living condition. So that's hidden agenda. My phone battery look like it's trying to go low. That right. The next chapter is called A Change of Heart. months had passed since I'd last seen or heard from my husband. And with all that transpired, I knew we were done. Nonetheless, on Valentine's Day, my brother stopped by bearing gifts. He delivered a huge basket filled with perfume, a large teddy bear, and other goodies. Where did it come from? It came from my husband, of course. He had asked my brother to deliver it along with a phone number for us to talk. What's that all about? Why now, I thought. Had he returned because he was like the prodigal son? Other thoughts evaded my mind. Had he realized the grass wasn't greener on the other side? Since he hadn't ruined me the way he thought when he left, was he back to give me the final blow? Despite my concerns, I agreed to meet with him. We met in a nearby park, and he said he realized the huge mistake he made by leaving his family, and then made his plea to return home. I said I considered everything we discussed. He tried to rush my decision. I reiterated how I'd consider what we discussed, but explained that I couldn't let him move back into the house yet. Certainly he didn't think he could just walk back in just as easy as he walked out. Shouldn't there be like a probationary period or something, a time to see how badly he really wanted to be there, or for me to determine his real motive? I knew the lip of truth shall be established forever, but a lying tongue is but for a moment. And in time he'd be exposed. Besides, I hadn't forgotten his previous hidden agenda. One day at work, I began to pray for the organization, employees, and the budget issues. To compound things, my job was facing budget issues which jeopardized my job security. Folks got laid off the previous year, but I escaped it. Who's to say they bypassed me this time? Over time, feeling of me losing my job and my husband's intent to betray me again grew stronger. Consequently, I did get laid off. But to that point, I hadn't let him move back in. The clerk of courts was talking about meeting with the employees about the layoff. Interrupted by my desk phone as I glimpsed at it from around the wall, the call ID identified the caller on the other end as the clerk of court. For the thing which I greatly feared is come upon me, and that which I was afraid of is come unto me. It seemed like everything that appeared to be my source or the center of my joy was being stripped away from me all at once. First it was my home, then it was my husband, and now my job. Had I become that consumed by my problems and worldly affairs that I took my focus off God? God tells us, "Thou shalt have no other gods before me." The clerk and the human resource director sat quietly as I entered the room. They handed me an envelope and told me I was laid off. They went over the details of the paperwork gave me my separation date, and asked if I had any questions. As for my husband, well, one night I had a disturbing dream, which I later shared with my mom, sister, and my eldest daughter. I dreamed he had a smirk on his face as he told my daughter's boyfriend his reason for returning home. He explained how he was only there to bide his time. Angered by what she'd overheard, my daughter interrupted their chat and confronted him. "What exactly do you mean you're just there to bide your time?" "I'm going to hang around until one or two things happen. Either your mom will get tired of the way things are going and she'll file for a divorce, or I'll get tired of hanging around and leave again, causing her to file. Once she does, I'll force her to sell her house and I'll get half of everything she has," he replied. Angrily, she scolded him. "What is wrong with you? You were already gone, and if you knew you didn't want to be there, why did you come back?" With a stern voice, he replied, "Like I said, I'm just here to bide my time." Startled by the alarm clock, I woke up from the dream. I wasn't surprised by it because an unsettling feeling remained with me from the moment he returned, which is a part of the reason I was reluctant to let him move back. And I'm going to stop our story there. So I didn't let him, I never did let him move back in. I never did let him move back in. And my plug is acting up here. Hold on a second. I don't want my phone to die on me. I'm trying to, for some reason this plug isn't working too good that I have here. So I didn't let him move back in. And ultimately I did wind up filing for the divorce, and he did just what I dreamt he would do. We went to court, and it should have been a simplified marriage, because what we did, we sold the marital assets. We sold the house we had together. We sold the cars. So really there was nothing left to separate. But when we went to court, he kept telling the judge there were some additional assets. There were some additional things that he was entitled to. He said I had some additional property. And I couldn't for the life of me think of what he meant, because the only property I could think of at the time was the property that me and my son lived in, which was the house that I had before we got married. So I could not, I couldn't figure out what property. So each time the judge would ask him what property, he would say he wasn't at liberty to disclose that information, and he would, he needed more time. And so he kept doing that sort of thing, and it stretched the divorce out for a year. And finally, the judge told me a way to make him disclose the information. Told me I had to file some interrogatories. And so when we got before the mediator, he said he wanted half of everything. So he wanted me to give him half of my pension. He wanted half of the other house I was living in, and that sort of stuff. And so the only way that I was able to get him to back up off me, because they wind up telling him that he would have to give me half of his retirement as well. And so by the time they did everything, and they did explain to him he would not get full 50-50, and he didn't have entitlement to my retirement because I had worked on my job a number of years before he and I got married. So I never did let him back in, but I did just what I dreamt. It forced me to file for the divorce. So we'll continue on with that story, and we're at the end. So the next time I read, that should be the end of the book. And keep in mind, and I see we have some new people in. For those of you who are new to the stream, I'm a published author. This is my book. It's called My Struggling Broken Pieces, A Healing for My Soul. And keep in mind, I'm not reading the entire book cover to cover, but I am reading excerpts from the book, creating a storyline from cover to cover. I've had several book giveaways. I've given away probably about 14 books that I would give away during story time. So those people had their books. I autographed them for them. If you're interested in purchasing the book, it's available at Amazon.com. However, I have some that on sale. If you order them through me, you can get them for $25. Miss E. Johnson Woodson said the first 5 people that order a book, hit me up on Instagram to order a book, they'll only have to pay $20 because she will pay $5 towards the purchase of their book. But the book is available at Amazon.com. Let's see who walked in while I was reading. I don't want to miss anybody, but I want to. Okay, let's see. Simply a Sweetheart is throwing me some love and kisses. Says hello, Miss Deborah. And 12 L's is laughing. Gigi's shouting up, Simply a Sweetheart. We have Arthur Martin in the house. How are you, Arthur? So glad that you could join us again, and I hope everything is well with you. Says love y'all, family, love you, sister. And Arthur, you were featured in the last story time that we did on Monday. So if you haven't had a chance to go back and look at the replay, but you were one of the characters featured in that story. Ziegler's own Timmy says, yeah, in middle school I had gum in my hair, and Kane said, don't do that, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. Okay, and ran down the hall. 12 Bells is speaking to Arthur Martin. Big E's support group is in the house. How are you, Big E's? You were featured in the story before the one Monday, so I think yours was Friday. Big E says, hello, Deborah. So glad to have you back in story time. Zeker Zone Timmy says, Kane remembers that. Arthur Martin says, can y'all call me on my birthday? We're going to celebrate you tonight, Arthur. We're going to celebrate you story time style. Now, you in the Cancer season or you in the Leo season? Because I think they just said it's Leo season. But if you were in the Cancer season, that's okay. You caught the tail end of it. We'll still celebrate you. I think we missed you. I think you did say your birthday was like at the end, sometime this week or so, or last week. Gigi's welcoming Big E's. Kane Moore says, oh, I did remember that. We was mad that day in middle school. Simply Sweetheart shouting out Gigi and says, thank. Big E says hi to Gigi. Trick of Living says, wow. Tiffany says, thank you. Loves for likes. Now there's 31 in the chat and 20 likes. Let's keep it up. Thank you. Thank you for that, Tiffany. 12 Bell says hidden agenda. And she's got a popcorn and got her mouth open. We have Pam Money in the house. Ain't no party like a Pam Money party, because a Pam Money party don't stop. I bet Pam got her live set up right now, waiting for me to finish. And Pam will keep you up partying till 6 in the morning. How are you, Pam? So glad you came by to join us for story time. Trick of Living says hi to Tiff. 12L says hi to Tiffany. K. Moore says hi to Pam Money. Tiffany says hey to Trick of Living and Pam Money. Pam Money says hi to Kane Moore and Tiffany. Sharp Bus Pull Up says hey to Pam. We have Mukbanging Things in the house. How are you, sis? She says hey. Deborah's glad. Mukbang, you were featured in a story a while back. I want to say you were featured in that one that has Oreo Mouse and Chocolate Mint Mouse as the main characters. I think that's the one you were featured in. But each of the stories have in the description have the characters in the description. Tiffany, you were also featured in a story a while back too, but I don't remember. I mean, we've had like 70 something stories times shout outs, and then we've had like 6 of the book readings. So I can't remember which exact what stories you were featured in, but maybe you all get a chance to check it out. Trick is shouting out. Pam Mukbang says hello all in the chat. 12L says this chapter is juicy. Sharp Buzz says Mukbang and Thing hello, and he's shouting out 12 Vales. Trick of Living says hi to Mukbang and Things. Mukbang shouting out Short Buzz. Pam Money says hi to Short Buzz, Mukbang and Things, and Trick of Living. Mukbang Things shouting out Trick of Living, say hey there. She's also shouting out Pam Money. Pandy shouting out Web Savvy and Mukbang. We have Holy Spirit Firefall in the house. How are you, sis? So glad that you could join us again for story time. Holy Spirit Firefall says, hey, everyone. Hello, beautiful Deborah. Pandy shouting out Trick of Living and Pam Money. Shawana shouting out Trick of Living and Pam Money. Trick of Living says hi to Candy. Pandy Hair, Candy, and more. Shawana shouting out Holy Spirit Firefall. Trick of Living says, hello to Creative Circle. Pam shouting out Pandy and Shawana. We have NQ's World in the house tonight. NQ's World, you were featured also again. You were featured in the story Monday night. I don't remember if you were in there because I did a premiere, but I don't know if you remember if you were in there. I get these brain farts, so you all have to excuse me for that. But you were featured in the story Monday night, NQ's World. Thank you for coming in. Says hello, Maz in chat. She wanted to shout out NQ's World. Kane Moore says hi to NQ's World. Gigi says welcome to Storytime to Pam, NQ's World, Mukbang and Thing, and Holy Spirit Firefall. Vernon says hello and welcome to Holy Spirit Firefall and Pam Money. Pam shouting out Gigi and Vernon. Vernon says I am so sorry, Deborah. That was super pretty. Super petty. Yeah, it was Vernon. But you know what? God is still in control, and I still got the victory. Vernon says hello and welcome into NQ's World, my booski. And hello and welcome Mukbang and Thing. NQ's World shouting out Shawana, K Moore, Gigi, and Vernis. NQ shouting out Pam Money and Trick of Living. Mukbang and Thing says hello, Sister Vernis. Pam Money shouting out NQ's World. Trick of Living shouting out NQ's World. We have Mama Dell in the building. Mama Dell, you were also featured in the story Monday night. You were featured in a story or two before, but you were featured again in the one Monday night. Mama Dell says, hey, love, and all in the live. It's Mama Dell. And she's shouting out Mukbang and Thing in NQ's World. Trick of Living says, hi, Mama Dell. Picky Dell. Mama Dell says, hey, loves, to Pam Money, Trick of Living. And to Gigi. NQ's World says, hey, sis, to Mama Dell. I'm watching you with this big, tall salad now, laughing. I was in her premiere earlier, NQ's World, and I saw that salad, and I instantly got full. And I'm like, I don't know why, but that looked like the world's largest salad to me. But she ate it. She did it. She did it. Mama Dell says, hey, Sister Gigi. NQ's World says, hey, to Mama Dell. Vernon says hello and welcome to Mama Dell. How are you? And Mukbang Thing says, hey, sis Shantara. Hey, sis Shantara at Piccadilly. Mama Dell says, girl, that thing was big. Yeah, it was. She says, hey, love to Vernis. Mama Dell says, I am doing good, love to Vernis. Thanks for asking. Pam Money shouting out Mama Dell. Sister Fifi says, the Miss Yo-Yo Show, hi. NQ's World says hi to Mama Dell. Yes, laugh out loud. Sister Fifi shouting out Mama Dell and Mukbang and Thing. We have a sophisticated lady in the house. Sophisticated lady, you were featured in a story a while back too. And in fact, I think you were featured in 2 stories. I think one of them was the one with the Oreo mouse and the chocolate mint mouse. And then there was another one with Brother Herb. You were featured in a couple of stories. Web Savage says, oh no, he didn't. It's time for a drive-by, y'all. Laugh out loud. Yeah, well, a bit of difference. Been trying to ride with me, her and Gigi. But we're gonna drive by with him. We're gonna do the drive by with some prayers for him. That's what we're gonna do. We ain't gonna drive by with the other way. We're gonna drive by with some prayers for the brother, for him to get his mind right. Mama Dale says hi to Sister Fifi. Sister Fifi's shouting out Pam Money. Pam says, oh, and she's shouting out Sister Fifi Tyson. Sister Fifi says, hey to Biggie support group. Hi, buddy. Vernon says, laugh out loud, right, Web Savvy? Sister Fifi says, Web Savvy, hi. Web Savvy says, Vernon's closet, and she's laughing and shouting out Sister Fifi. Mama Dale says, hey, love to Web Savvy. Sister Fifi Tyson says, Web Savvy, did you get the email? NQ's World says, Sister Fifi Tyson and Sophisticated Lady, she's speaking to you all, hey. Web Savvy says, hey to Mama Dale. Mama Dale says, hey, love at Sophisticated Lady. And Be the Difference Clothing. Sister Fifi's shouting out. Gigi's welcoming Mama Dale and Web Savvy Cafe. Bernard says, why do men need to start a fight to leave? No announcement needed. By Felix. Right. Okay. Web Savvy says, oh, I'm bad at checking my email. Sister Fifi, I'll check. NQ's World says, right, Vernon says, I am so sorry that happened to you, Deborah. Deborah, you know I am from Brooklyn. Just let me know when. Look like we're going to be riding about 40 deep in a minute. Sister Fifi says, hi to Web Savvy. She says, okay. Vernon says, NQ's World, ugh. A sophisticated lady shouting out Mama Dale and got the dancing lady going. She ready for that birthday song. Vernon saying how he was petty Teddy. Yes. And you know what, that ego kicks in. It's like, how dare you, how dare you. So Sister Fifi says, did you use my email on about page? Web Savvy says, Sophisticated Lady says, shouting out Gigi. Be the Difference says hi to Web Savvy. Web Savvy's shouting out Be the Difference. NQ shouting out Be the Difference. And so is Mama Dale. Sister Fifi says no. Sister Phoebe says to Web Savvy, Pam Money shouting out Be the Difference. Holy Spirit Firefall says, I am sorry, Gigi's Lab and Vernon's Closet. I had to step away while listening. Thanks for the warm welcome. Be the Difference shouting out Pam Money and Web Savvy. Shouting out Sister Fifi says, hit me up on IG. Gigi says, that's fine, Holy Spirit Firefall. We're glad to have you. Vernon says, oh my God, I need his address. Let's see, where am I don't want to miss anybody, and my stream jumped. Okay. Vernon says, Web Savvy says, Edward says interesting, so I must have missed something. Hold on. Okay, so Sister Fifi says, okay. Pam says, Web Savvy speaking to Vernon. Edward Smart says, interesting. Be the Difference says, so sad. Web Savvy says, oh yeah, he pumped his brakes then. Laugh out loud. Vernon says, listen, Linda, at Web Savvy, I just need 10 minutes. Web Savvy's laughing. Pandy says, oh my God, Deborah, I am so sorry you had to deal with all that, but I'm happy you're in a better space. Yes, Pandy, thank you. Be the Difference says, right, at Pandy, shaking my head. Web Savvy says, hey, short bus pull up, and Pandy says, hey to Web Savvy. Vernon says, yes, right, Pandy. Here, Candy Moore. Web Savvy shouting out Shawana and says, hey to Kane Moore. Mukbang Thing says, I was here. Mama Dale says, hey, Sister Pandy. Mukbang says, for the story. Be the Difference shouting out Mukbang. Shawana says, hey to Web Savvy. Mama Dale says, hey, love the Pam Money. Mukbang says, hey, Joy. Pandy shouting out Mama Dale. Web Savvy says, Mama Dale, sis, I am through with you. I can't catch my breath watching you impersonate Hattie. Oh yeah, I like that video. Mukbang and things says, hey there to Pandy. We have Mama Bear of 4 in the house. How are you, sis? So glad you could join us for story time. She says, hey everybody, Web Savvy shouting out Pam Money. Be the difference saying hi to Mama Bear of 4. Web Savvy shouting out Mama Bear. Pandy shouting out Mukbang and things and Mama Bear. Gigi says, welcome to story time to Mama Bear. Mama Dale says, laugh out loud. I am glad you enjoyed it. Web Savvy, be the difference says, laugh out loud, right, Deborah? And Mama Dale got it done. Yep, she did. Mama Dale says, I'm going to get you. Be the difference clothing. NQ's World says, hey to Mama Bear 4 and to Pandy. Be the difference laughing at Mama Dale says, I forward all challenges right back to you. Yeah, she told us in that challenge how you got out of that challenge. Be the difference. That is too funny. Mama Dale says, you ain't right. Be the difference. And she's be the difference is laughing. Mukbang things is laughing at Joy. Mama Dale says, yep, we ride deep playing with my sis. Be the difference says Mukbang and things. She's got a little crazy look on her face. Web Savvy says, hey to NQ's World. We have WTF Mike in the house. Says, hey Deborah, good to catch a live finally. So glad that you stopped by to see us, brother. Appreciate you coming by. We really do. Be the difference says hi to the WTF Mike. You were featured in a story a while back too. It's been a while, but you were featured in a story. And I think that also that more Oreo Mouse one was probably one you were featured in as well. And he says, be the difference clothing. Hey, Sister 12L says, I'm happy you free from the wicked man. Gigi says, welcome to story time to WTF Mike. Mama Bear 4 says, I'm good. Mama Dale says, hey, love to 12Ls. 12Ls shouting out Mama Dale. WTF Mike says, thank you to Gigi. Gigi says, I'm riding shotgun. We have Living Water with Sister Glenda in the house. How are you, Living Water with Sister Glenda? So glad you could join us for story time tonight. She says, hi, host and everyone. I have been in the bushes. I heard everything. And Q's World says, how are you at WTF Mike? Be the difference is shouting out Living Water with Sister Glenda. In Q's World, shout out 12 Bells. Say, hey, hon. Mama Dale says, yep, Gigi. We have 7 Legs Fairy in the house. The most YouTube featured fairy of all time. She says, hi, Deborah, glad tidings. I appreciate each and every one of you joining me for story time. I hope there's something you heard here. Even though, you know, we're running a whole bunch of emotions. With the book reading, we've been on all of these. You know, Joy says she 1 minute she want to laugh, the next minute she want to cry, the next minute she want to fight. So you all have been on my emotional roller coaster journey. So we are going to celebrate Arthur Martin story time style. Shawana says, if you think what Deborah read tonight was good, you should read the book. Let me tell you, you won't put it down until the end, y'all. Yeah, Shawana was one of our book readers, book winners, and she went ahead and read the book probably in like 2 days, and she was done with it and passed it on to share it with her daughter. I appreciate her for that. So we're going to go ahead and celebrate Mr. Arthur Martin. Now we sing happy birthday. I can start you out with the Marilyn Monroe or the Stevie Wonder version. Then we're going to close out with the 2 Live Crew. So which one do you want, Mr. Arthur Martin? The Marilyn Monroe or the Stevie Wonder version? Carolyn East All is in the building. She says, hey to NQ's World. Pandy says, I believe you, she wanna. And 7 Legs Fairy says she's praying. I appreciate each and every one of you who are praying on my behalf. And Carolyn shouting out Mama Dale. Okay, so Arthur Martin didn't answer. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start slow with Marilyn Monroe. Work my way up to the Stevie Wonder version. And then we're going to close out with Two Live Crew. All right. So I don't know if Arthur's still in the building, but we're going to sing his birthday song. He's been asking about this song since I think one day last week. So we are going to sing it for him, and if he's not here, he can catch the replay. All right, here we go. Oh, let me give you the rules for the Two Live Crew version of the song. For those of you who are new in story time or never celebrated story time style with us, when I get to the Two Live Crew version, when I say what's that number one zodiac sign or what's that favorite zodiac sign, you're going to throw, but see, I don't even know if Arthur is a Cancer or a Leo. I'm going to assume he's a Cancer. So we're going to celebrate him in the Cancer season. So you're going to throw Cancer in the stream. If I call anything other than Cancer, you're going to throw a no in the stream. And when I say Cancer is working that thing out, you're going to throw a working that thing out in the stream. All right, here we go. Hello, Life with Susie Q. How are you? She celebrated her son's birthday today. Says, hello, Deborah. Good night. How are you? All right. Here, this is for Arthur Martin. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arthur. Happy birthday to you. Yay! All right, here we go, Arthur. Now we're going to move it up to the Stevie Wonder version. You know, it doesn't make much sense. There ought to be a law against anyone who takes offense at a day in your celebration. Because we all know in our minds that there ought to be a time that we can set aside to show just how much we love you. And I'm sure you would agree it couldn't fit more perfectly than to have a world party on the day you came to be. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Yay. Happy birthday, Arthur. All right. Now, look at that, Arthur. Arthur got all the cakes. He got cakes and champagne. They got balloons going up in the stream. Oh, man, look at that. 7 Legs Ferry dancing right along with our dancing diva in Q's World doing cartwheels. Miss Furrow, our dancing diva, throwing some ice cream in there. Oh, man, look at that, Arthur. Look at that. In Q's World, Carol and everybody got on that red dress that Miss Furrow was going to get beat up at the party in her story. Oh, man, look at that. Living Water with Sister Glenda's clapping. 12 L's laughing. Oh, man, Arthur, they're celebrating you. All right. So now, I'm going to give you the rules again. Two Live Crew, happy birthday. When I say what's that number one zodiac sign or what's that favorite zodiac sign, you're going to throw Cancer in the stream. If I say anything other than Cancer, you're going to throw no in the stream. And when I say Cancer is working that thing out or Arthur's working that thing out, you're going to throw working that thing out in the stream. All right, here we go. I said, what's that number one zodiac sign? Cancer. I said, what's that number one zodiac sign? Cancer. Is it Aries? No. Is it Taurus? No. Is it it Pisces? No. Is it Capricorn? No. What's that number 1 zodiac sign? Cancer. I said, what's that number 1 zodiac sign? Cancer. Is it Leo? No. Is it Aquarius? No. Is it Pisces? No. Is it Aries? No. Cancer, working that thing out. Arthur, working that thing out. Cancer, working that thing out. Arthur, working that thing. Go Arthur, it's your birthday. Go Arthur, it's your birthday. It's your birthday. Get busy. Go Arthur, it's your birthday. Get busy. Get busy. Happy birthday, Arthur. Thank you all. Thank you all. Look at that. Cancer is being celebrated. Even though everybody think their zodiac is the best, we celebrate whoever season it is. Look at that. Oh man, anything I called that wasn't Cancer, they said no. Look at that. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I appreciate it. Look at that. Look at Carolyn got the peaches out there and the music going. They clapping, they dancing, shaking them red dresses in them heels. That's all right. So Arthur, we celebrated you story time style. That's how we celebrate birthdays over here in story time. But I appreciate each and every one of you coming by to see me in story time. I really appreciate you because there's other places you could have been. And I am going to go ahead and end out the night. Story time is every Monday, Wednesday, Friday night at 10 p.m. Eastern time. We're winding up now with the book read, and we'll go back to our story time shout outs because that's my way of shouting out YouTubers. So we will always have those little stories in story time. Always remember, until we meet again, may his peace be with you. I'll see you at the next story time. And always remember, I have a will to live. Good night. I love you all, and I'll see you at the next story time. Good night.